Good morning, everybody, and welcome to week 10. We're in double digits. Woo woo. And we're in our final week of homegoing. I hope that you've enjoyed the book so far. Your reading responses and your literary lenses have been really illuminating, to say the least. And it seems like you're really kind of engaging with the book. I know it is a tough read. I know it is not a light read, and on the heels of Barefoot Gen, you might be thinking, Miller, why are you having us read this? But I think that there's so much beauty in this book and there's so much important history to know and to learn about that in my mind that kind of outweighs maybe some our discomfort in reading a book like this. So I hope that by the end of it you come away feeling like you were glad to have read the book. Because I know even for me reading it again and again, I still feel that way. So with that in mind, so this is our last week of the book. Your primary goal this week is to make sure that you finish, because next week and the following week, you have 2 weeks. So we're finishing the book this week, and then the next 2 weeks are dedicated towards the writing of the work. You're not writing a long major essay, but you are completing something that will kind of bring together some of the skills that we've been working on this semester. So it's really important for you just to be able to allow time for that, to go ahead and make sure that you do finish the book in this week. We have our last 4 chapters ending with Marcus, and then you have your discords. So about the Discord, I've had some students ask me questions. I just want to clarify, my goal in the Discord channels is for you to engage in conversations. People are asking me if you have to engage with every character. No. Engage where you feel like you really have something to say about the characters, right? I don't want you to get on there and have it be like every other discussion board. You're like, here's my discussion reply. I really liked this character, right? That's irrelevant to me because that's not useful for you. It's not useful for me. It's certainly not a good use of your time. But if you read a character and you feel like, oh my gosh, I really need to talk about this character, then that's when you want to go onto the Discord, right? Because that's what we would be talking about in a class too. Like for me, for example, last week, H is one of my favorite characters. I also love Ness. But I love H and I love Willie. Duh, I love the book. But I do have some favorite characters, and so that's the character that I really want to talk about. Okay, so that's about the Discord. You have your last reading response this week, and again, you want to make sure that with these reading responses that you are making sure that you read the directions about it, right? The reading response number 1 was very explicitly asking you to tap into the idea of power. This reading response will also have a similar focus, and that's going to lead you towards the writing assignment that you're going to be working on beginning next week. You have only one literary lens for this week. So you don't get to choose this week. This week there's only one, and that is critical race theory. And the reason why I single that one out here is because really everything that we read in this particular book can in some way be connected to critical race theory. So one note about critical race theory, I know it's in the news a lot right now, and it has been for probably about the last 5 or 6 years. But critical race theory has been around for decades. This is not something new. And it's not about aligning yourself or any one group against another group of people. It's about kind of wondering, how does race impact mobility in the world? How does race impact interactions and relationships? And that goes for personal relationships and business relationships and global relationships, right? It's kind of looking at the role that race plays in all of that. And so, I know that some people agree with the theory and disagree with the theory in the same way that happens with the Marxist theory, with the feminist theory, but right now, critical race theory, I know, is very much in the kind of the national dialogue. But again, I would encourage you to kind of look at the roots of the theory, which again has been around for many years, and kind of begin to wonder, again, as a lens, Where do we see that taking place in homegoing? What does Ya Jesse give us that that we think, oh, if I put this lens on, I can see now maybe what the theory is trying to unpack or uncover. So again, this week is not asking you whether you agree or disagree with the theory, because it exists as many theories do, but to apply it to the book. And then you'll notice that you do not have a writing territory this week, and that's because you have the reading response and the literary lens to work on, as well as finishing the book. So as far as work goes, there's just the two main things, right? Your literary lens, the reading response, and then making sure you finish the book. Next week will look very different. We won't have the readings because the book will be done, and it will be a heavy writing focus for a couple of weeks before we move into our very final unit of the class, if you can believe that. So if you have any questions or comments or concerns, don't hesitate to let me know. As always, I am here for you. And yeah, I hope you have a great week, and I hope that you enjoy the end of the book.